So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Sun and Rahu conjunction in the fifth house. As in, what happened when the Sun and North Node of the Moon, known as Rahu in Vedic Astrology, sitting in the fifth house of your horoscope. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the other astrological details for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Maga Vedic Astrology Academy, where I do vlogs, uncensored vlogs. Okay. So, fifth house with Sun and Rahu. So, fifth house, as you know, represents children, education, speculation, mantras, classical knowledge, classical literature, okay, sports betting, just having all kinds of fun, stage performances, okay, change of jobs. And in a way, it can even, obviously it represents your Purva Punya Bhava, meaning past life good deeds. Past life good deeds. So now you have Sun and Rahu together. And so one thing you will see, these are those people who definitely deal with things like ADD, ADHD. Like for them, it's, and even sometimes dyslexia can happen, where the ability to learn something does not come in a very linear fashion. The ability to learn something happens in a more, pretty much very unusual, unorthodox way. You know, they have, tough times trying to just understand the intricacies of educational system. Like usually if you have this conjunction, or if you know this conjunction, usually you would have seen this, that you would have done better in like a creative school or a trade environment, like a trade skill, than just going through all the subjects and learning everything and passing one grade to the other. I think this whole grade system is so obsolete, because if at 7 you have the capability to become a genius genealogist, somebody who has great capability of understanding numbers, well, you just focus on that. Then from that time, you focus and you just develop that skill. And you get your high school degree in that skill. That becomes like your college degree. And the other thing we see is that they get obsessed. They get obsessed with stock market, speculation. And these are the people who, they have this motto, go big or go home. They don't want to go through those, long-term capital gains. They want to just go like this, sell it, and move on. For them, it's about having that one grand scheme happening. Because if you look, eclipse happens because when Sun is with Rahu, in a way, Sun is being eclipsed. An eclipse is in the sky, is a very short temporal event which like engulfs, a huge section of or a particular section of the planet for those 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So this is where this notion comes into play, that I want it big and I want it now because it's going to be over soon and I want to move on. So that's the mentality that comes into play. And again, depending upon the sign placement, depending upon the nakshatra placement of these conjunction, a person can go from, things like photography, mathematics, aerospace, or even obviously software engineering, to many different avenues. But literally with Sun Rahu, a person, they have to work and be in an environment which is not linear. It has to be something new, something sporadic. The other thing we also see, that especially a person, like especially in women's chart, they definitely can have children through IVF, surrogacy, having normal children as well. But those things can happen as well, depending, and that too depends upon the nakshatra Sun and Rahu are in and how the fifth lord is placed. But I mean, in my experience, I have seen this, and it's not just with Sun Rahu. I've seen this with the other planets as well, conjunct Rahu. Because I mean, Rahu in the fifth house can even, bring about fostering and adoption. Like you can have two of your own biological children, and then you may want to adopt the third one, give another life a chance, to have a better life. So such type of things do take place, and usually here any aspect of Saturn or Jupiter can definitely define one's intelligence here. There'll be a dramatic, like if there's an aspect of either Saturn versus Jupiter, maybe both, the thinking, the intelligence will either think one way or the other. That's the thing. And one of the things you will also see with this particular position is that paternal grandfather can actually be like a father figure for this individual. So for example, if father passed away early, yet the grandfather was there, then the grandfather becomes that father figure. Or father could be there, but grandfather kind of holds that very important position in a person's life more than their own father. But this does not affect the relationship with the father in a good or bad way, only until we see other details of the horoscope, especially the position of Jupiter. Like I've said this, if you want to understand the relationship with the father, look at Jupiter more than even the sun. Jupiter position will really tell you exactly about your father. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Jupiter and Rahu, or Sun and Rahu conjunction in your fifth house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos. If you want to know where your Sun, Rahu are, all your astrological details, include my books, consultation, link to my academy, check out the links here. And I'm going to be putting a new video very soon on how I study chart. First thing I look at in a chart on my KRS vlogs on my academy. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.